And we back, and we back, and we back, and we back. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SAUNAIE. I'm your host, XO. This is your first time listening, man. Welcome in. Welcome to the show. Welcome back wherever you at. Man, I know I've been on a cool hiatus. I've been traveling these last few weeks, so I haven't had time to sit down and record and didn't have anything pre-recorded for you guys. But I'm back. And I know it's been a couple of weeks since the last drop. Everybody that listened to that episode, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the patience, the messages, and the love that I've been receiving. But as I was traveling, I really had to take some time off and really step back and recalibrate myself. Because truth is, even the strongest ones need time to sit still and reset. And that's the energy behind today's episode. Today, we're diving into something personal, but yet powerful. And that's the silent battle with self-worth. For so many men, especially Black men, this isn't just a mood or a bad day. It's a quiet war that starts in your mind and spills over into every area of your life when it comes to your work, your relationships, and your health. And I know personally, because as men in this world, we have them battles, especially when we tailor our self-worth to status, power, um, followers on Instagram or TikTok, or followers in general on social media. We tailor outside, how should I put this? We seek that outside validation instead of validating ourselves on the inside. And it's partially our fault. And then it's like the internet is so wild because we all do it to where we compare our lives to other people, what other people are doing, how they're operating, how they're moving, and things like that. That low key diminishes our self-worth as men and women, because I know we're all social media fiends where we're constantly on social media looking at the next person's life, that person's life, and things like that, that we forget to honor and cherish our blessings of who we are. And that comparison is like a thief of joy. And it's understanding that that really diminishes your self-worth over time, just constantly looking at that on a daily basis. But let me start with this. According to the American Psychological Association, 33% of men say they often feel a sense of failure and inadequacy. 33% of men. Among Black men, feelings of self-worth are often buried under social expectations to be strong, unbreakable, and the go-to for everyone else. But when you feel unworthy, you overwork to prove yourself. You avoid relationships and stay in toxic ones because you don't believe you deserve better. You don't rest because your value feels tied with productivity. You stay quiet because vulnerability feels like weakness. And this doesn't just affect your mind. Chronic low self-worth has been linked to high blood pressure, increased cortisol levels, sleep disturbances, addictive behaviors, greater risk of depression and suicide. The CDC reports that suicide rates among men are 4 times higher than women. And the common theme: silence, suppressed emotion, and self-blame. So let's unpack that for a little bit. 33% of men feel a sense of failure or inadequacy. And that's because they stay quiet instead of voicing how they feel and what they feel. Because at the end of the day, we all need to feel worthy in some way. But you know how it is when you feel unworthy, you pour yourself into your work. You avoid certain relationships that can provide that worth that you're looking for, or even tapping into whatever your religious beliefs are and leaning more into that, getting that faith into who you are, and understanding that your creator made you worthy, but society deemed that you're unworthy because of certain things that you may not have, or a certain status that you may have not reached, or because your bank account isn't at a certain level with your age. And it's understanding that maybe I shouldn't tie my worth to materialistic things. And that's why it's diving deeper into who you are and unpacking, why do I feel like I'm not worthy of certain things in life? Why do I not feel worthy of certain love? Why do I feel unworthy of having a good life, whatever it may be, that you just go about it without even acknowledging that you just go through life, go through the growing pains of life, and not unpacking, why is my self-worth so diminished? How do I feel worthy? What makes me feel worthy? And really taking that time to understand yourself, and knowing that chronic low self-worth increases your blood pressure as well as cortisol levels, and it messes with your sleep. Because when you feel worthy, you're not getting 6 to 8 hours of sleep a night. You be like, man, I don't know if I'm worthy of sleep. Maybe I got to keep doing my work, staying productive. And I heard this the other day. Somebody's like, they'll sleep when they're dead. Well, if you don't get enough sleep now, you're getting closer to that death. So it's like understanding, why do I feel unworthy? Is this something that stimulated from my childhood? Or is this something that just came about hypothetically 5 years ago? And it's really asking yourself and unpacking that. And trust me, this didn't come out of nowhere. For a lot of us, we didn't have affirming fathers or emotional role models. We were told, man up, get over it, stop being soft. Vulnerability was punished and silence was praised. So we grew up believing we had to be unshakable, no breaks, no tears, no doubt. But carrying that kind of armor for years, it weighs on your soul. And it's understanding, like, now as you're an adult, it's not your parents' fault or problem anymore, where you have to do the work yourself. You have to see, why do I feel unworthy? Maybe you may have to see a therapist. Maybe you have to talk about it with your parents and see, like, why is this keep reoccurring in my life? Why do I feel like my self-worth is never there? No matter how much money I make, no matter what type of status I get, I still feel unworthy. And maybe you have to go into prayer, read the Bible, or whatever your religious beliefs is, do that. But I bet you're thinking, okay, I heard the statistics. I know that it's not good for me to feel unworthy, or why is my self-worth being diminished? What are some ways I can rebuild my self-worth? Well, how you start your healing journey and reclaiming your self-worth is with intention. Acknowledge the battle. We all face the same battles. Don't downplay it. Don't gaslight it. Call it what it is. That's the first step to taking your power back. Acknowledge what you're going through. And then number two, you may have to detach your worth from your work. You aren't your job title. You aren't your income. Your value doesn't fluctuate based on productivity. Practice detachment, because that's how we do it in this society. We like, oh, my worth is tied to my job title, my status, my income. But that's not true. Number three is track your self talk. If you wouldn't say it to your brother, don't say it to yourself. Catch the I'm not good enough, I'll never be thoughts, and challenge them. Ask yourself, does this thought serve me? Because at the end of the day, we have a million negative thoughts, and they just reoccur on a daily basis. And sometimes you have to ask yourself, does this thought serve me? And change that thought immediately. Once you say, oh, once that I'm not, nope, change that. I am good enough. I am worthy. Speak life into yourself instead of continuously going through these demoralizing thoughts, because at the end of the day, you control your mind. Don't let your mind control you, constantly going through the cycles of negative thoughts, negative energy, negative environments. Change your environments, change your self-talk, track how you talk to yourself. And it starts when you wake up. The first thing you do when you wake up, say to yourself, today will be a good day. You may have to say affirmations. You may have to read the Bible. You may have to go into extensive prayer, meditate, whatever works for you, do that. Change up your routines. If you're not working out or in the gym, get in the gym. If you're like, I don't want to go to the gym, do some push-ups at home. Take a walk outside. Do things that give you life instead of repeating the same cycles that's causing you mental death. Number 4 would be get uncomfortable with healing. Therapy, journaling, prayer, mentorship, whatever resonates, do it. Healing isn't easy, but it's freedom. Number 5 would be curate your input. Follow creators, podcasts, and pages that build you up. Unfollow anything that drains or shames you. You have to tailor your algorithm on your social media feeds to positive things, whatever it may be. If you like, oh, all I constantly see is, I know the big thing going around for everybody is the Love Island. Glad that's over. But seeing all the social media stuff, if it doesn't bring you life or it doesn't inspire you, why are you watching it? Change it up. Figure out like, all right, what do I want to see? Maybe you're like, hey man, I need to start building my self-worth. Let me look at more inspirational pages, or let me look for different mentorship programs, or let me see what positive aspects are on social media. Like tailor your algorithm to what you want to begin pursuing. Number 6, speak life out loud. Affirmations matter. I know fellas, y'all like, man, I ain't about to say that. They matter. Trust me, because it's really programming your subconscious mind. You have to tell yourself, I am worthy. I am enough. I don't need to prove anything to anybody to be valuable. You have to speak life to yourself. That self-talk is real. That self-talk is real because, like I said, it's programming your subconscious mind. And how to really tap into your subconscious mind is 2 times throughout the day where you're really in a hypnotic state or theta state is right when you wake up, that first 10 or 15 minutes when you're waking up, speak life to yourself. And the last 10 or 15 minutes before you go to bed, because you're in that hypnotic state to where you can hypnotize yourself to saying you are worthy. You end up becoming worthy because you're programming your subconscious mind. Everything's really done through your subconscious mind. So it's like you have to direct it in a way that isn't what you've been going through, especially when it comes to self-worth. Even if you have to write in there every morning, I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy. You know, we all seen The Simpsons when Bart was writing on the chalkboard in the intro. You may have to do that to program yourself, but it's like doing the little things to make yourself get better, and also reaching out and talking to people. Don't hold this in on your own and feel like, oh man, nobody wants to hear this. Nobody wants to go through this. But it's understanding like there's other people that's going through the same struggle that you're going through, and you showing that vulnerability will help them out. Trust me, there's times I go through the same thing too. And I went through this years ago, but it's constantly coming back. But it's really doing the little things and making sure you're becoming who you need to be and not staying who you are. And I found some other resources as well for you guys to really dig into. If you're a reader like myself, you like reading books, check out The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem by Nathaniel Branden. Another book would be It's Okay That You're Not Okay by Megan Devine. And another one is Unfuck Yourself by Gary John Bishop. Those are 3 books I recommend when it comes to helping out and figuring out your self-worth. Some of the podcasts I recommend as well is, of course, this one, SAUNAIE. Another one would be the Roommates podcast. And the last one is Therapy for Black Men. Some of those podcasts are good for you to tune into, help you out, and listen to on a daily basis. And I want to say another thing too, that maybe sometimes it's the music that's really making you feel unworthy as well. So think about that too. Change up your routine. Start reading books more, listen to podcasts, little things that gives you life instead of feeding yourself death when it comes to music, what you're watching and things like that, because all that programs your mind. And if you also need some therapy resources, look up. These are all places you can look on the web, Google, whatever it may be. Therapy for black men.org is a good one. BetterHelp.com. I know we all seen the BetterHelp commercials, ads everywhere, as well as Open Path Collective. Look into those if you need therapy. And I personally think everybody needs therapy in some form or facet, even if you don't want to admit it. Just doing that will help you unpack a lot of stuff that you've been suppressing throughout your life. So I highly recommend getting therapy and just being present in that, because you can be vulnerable with the therapist and not feel any type of way. So this week, I want to challenge you. Write down 5 things that make you valuable that has nothing to do with money, work, or status. Stick them somewhere visible, get a little sticky note, and say them every day this week and watch what shifts in you. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. I really hope this episode helped you out as much as it helped me. But we're going to be back next week. I'm dropping episode 1 of the financial literacy series, starting with money and mental health, how financial stress is wrecking men's peace. We're talking credit, budgeting, wealth, legacy, and how to protect your mind when securing your bag. But with that being said, this episode spoke to you, resonated with you, share it with the brother who needs it. Share it with a family member. Share it with anybody who you think may need this, who's going through that phase of unfeeling unworthy or has been battling with their self-worth over time. DM me if you need any help. Follow me on every social media at SAUNAIE. Leave a review or just sit with it. You're not broken, you're growing. Always remember that. And you're not behind, you're healing. With that being said, I'll see y'all next week with SAUNAIE. Peace.